We live in a world driven by profits and greed, and it's plagued by endless hatred and conflicts. Can a Dharma Kingdom, nestled in the Himalayas, offer the cooling waters of peace and sanity?
Put fire, we have to use water. But what happens if the ocean is on fire? The antidote becomes poison. Then there is no remedy for that.
Bhutan will never be an economic or military power, but we can be a model force for good in this world. Despite our small size, His Majesty, the 4th Duke Gyalpo, introduced the radical development philosophy of gross national happiness that has steered the conscience of our thinking world. We have also set new standards in our environmental preservation policy written into the Constitution for perpetuity. Can Bhutan set new standards and be a beacon of inspiration in our troubled world?
And it says in the Vedas, they say you need one spark to set a forest on fire. That one spark is Bhutan that can set the fire for wisdom, compassion, and courage.
GNH is the philosophy that acts as our national conscience, always guiding us to make better and wiser decisions for our future. GNH today, for us, is the bridge between the fundamental values of kindness, equality, and humanity.
Bhutan is the last Vajrayana kingdom. The Vajrayana is very important because Vajrayana is the most advanced thought in Buddhism, and Vajrayana has the Theravada teaching, the Mahayana teaching, Sutra teaching, and the Tantra teaching.
Zambuli nalu gekhab yijal hapji yubigi tekhale chedan dembigi gekhab pichang didi majependi dubi gekhab di imbe hase shunila.
First, we have all this sacred place blessed by Guru Rinpoche, and the blessings are intact, has not been deteriorated. And second is having all the Dharma practitioners, the Dharma in our country. And the third is having the dual system.
The unique dual system was instituted by Shabdung Nawan Namgyal in 1616 when he founded Bhutan as a nation-state, whereby the nation would be ruled by a synergy of political and spiritual leadership. As a result of the enlightened political leadership of successive Dharma kings and the spiritual leadership of the Je Khenpos, both the temporal and spiritual state of Bhutan has been well preserved in time.
The dual system was first taught by the Buddha, and in the Chittagarbha Sutra, if you see, there's one chapter which talks about the dual system, and it talks about the 10 wheels. And in that it says that it explains the detailed disadvantage of not having a Dharma king, and it talks about the advantage of having Dharma king, and it talks about the body, speech, and the mind quality of the Dharma king. So if you look at our Dharma kings, all these qualities match.
Being Bhutanese and being following Buddhism, that the care and compassion we have in being a Buddhist, so I think that makes us different from the rest of the world.
In Buddhists, we talk not about one world, we talk about Jikting Ikam, which is like countless worlds.
Today, in our world, every year, 60 billion land animals are killed every year for human consumption. That's 7 million per hour.
So when the Shuding Gyalpo also slaughters animal and supports people who are slaughtering animal, praises people who are killing animal, then so we have taken a very drastic change, and which is not accordance to the Dharma Shuding Gyalpo.
Bhutan's unique position also allows it to set a powerful example in demonstrating how traditional value and modern sustainability practices can harmonize, and this aligns with Bhutan's ethos of gross national happiness.
My name is Punsok Rabdan. I work for Jangsa Animal Saving Trust that was founded by Lama Kunzang Dorjee Rinpoche in 2000 to conduct setar. That is, saving the lives of animals bound for imminent slaughter and subsequently maintaining them in well-facilitated sanctuaries with staffed caretakers. As we stare into an uncertain future, it is important to reflect on the historical legacy of our Dharma Kingdom and how we have progressed in time by embracing conscious change without forsaking the ethos of our Dharma Kingdom.
Two Jesuit Portuguese missionaries came to Bhutan back then, and they journaled how Shabdung was, physically as well as the attributes that he possessed. And one of the most interesting characteristic that I found in that book was they were saying Shabdung Rinpoche was also vegetarian. When the pandemic hit us hard, His Majesty commanded Desups to feed even the stray dogs and the birds. And that was really, really inspiring.
However, today, Bhutan is not immune to the harsh realities of economic compulsions. In the last few years, Bhutan has witnessed an alarming trend of migration of our people to developed countries seeking economic opportunities that has now compelled our government to vigorously pursue economic programs above all else. How will our Dharma Kingdom navigate these complex times without forsaking the values of a Dharma Kingdom?
The biggest challenge we are going through right now, we are going through a major transition in terms of our internal mindset. So this kind of extrovert, materialistic education that has come very insidiously and is spread across the country now is destroying our spiritual value system.
Zambuling nam nada selam diyo mola. Zambuling nam nami kablu ngacherea roga josa jogo bala. Ani nya seni sha seni disu konda jika majurutu be se no mela.
In times of both prosperity and strife, Bhutanese look for refuge in the enlightened leadership of our benevolent monarchs and our spiritual leaders for solace and solutions.
Milu Rinpoche men, milu nandele chosho, tapcha.
아니 총 어마이미기 민 초국계 배샤주니 되면서 tellalugin pebache lamchopgi shashebachin te melamchi tabdiro ngachi janino shingos janbe labmeba te debebache lamchopgi te nga jan melam tabbe ma simchi seba jodme ba te khona te makhib gi seble khongi seb janime te dende
치달도 다 체딩기 개합 인세 대안에 찾아 로기야 찾아 랑기야 데베라 찾아 텔레 든 고만 낭달도디 대안이 좀 속치기 라베 틱바기 라베 Now,
the most fundamental precept in the Buddhist system is to not harm other beings. And therefore, in a consumerist world, there's no room for reconciling these two, having a lot of meat from the market, which is killed, slaughtered meat, and at the same time arguing that you promote non-violence and eschew taking life.
That lo sumju da chigi hema that the Kyabje Je Khenpo chigi that ngai che du ke kham na sokji ma me te nam te mi gare sha sa ta ni be nam ma hema ma se me sha de dari sa de me be me sa me de Kyabje Je Khenpo chigi zonga ke ji lo de me nam su na ye de.
The Melam Chambo, a great prayer festival, was instituted by His Holiness the Je Khenpo. That is now the largest spiritual gathering held successively in almost all the districts in Bhutan.
Kyabje Je Khenpo chigi ani be tu kudang to lo je kha de ba sokji ma so ra de le sarap mi ge thong me nam je go me de nam se me ra sem pham me
ti darna mo zamling na no sa taru zamling yargi jo me yente me shen yumi gi mi disugi ro semjing ge tobang yu se semjilo sigur be animal rights ta ngachi na cho hemale dadi wi mi de nalu di masu beni mato te hema yumi de meptam be semjing ge tobang mepzo ashin di te jabge se de yarge me ma marge ge ge khasun shunila.
Under the compulsions of rising meat consumptions in Bhutan, the government is now compelled to undertake and accelerate the mass proliferation of meat farms. This is being done solely on economic grounds under the banner of national food security and self-sufficiency to preserve foreign reserves and boost local incomes. In the fine balancing act between economics and the principles of a Dharma Kingdom, let us examine the economic realities on the ground that questions the very rationale for the mass proliferation of meat farms.
खासै अब यहाँनिर मेरो एरियामा छ होला तीन चार जनाको अब सानो सानो फार्महरु फिशरी फार्म उनीहरुकोमा गएर स्टडी गर्दाखेरि खासै छैन
oma aiga netanga got pakamne le pudilu mala shti tambula ri chakpe manoa kangile kangi thuso name म
चाहिँ अब सिधा भन्दिएको अब मान्छे फासिन्छ कति जना फासिरहेछ हो लोन लिएर गर्छ हो अन्त
jangthaga mangil anila bum gepchu gupchu zakpu diwa anjuli la oma anila jang nyong ko manchela
netang lejin be themachin te shenkhai te asbyo midragas no dil te tancham ramashusen saran zum bendi di terage semgira aschi tab mi devala ziniso wala ni
majegi yarge tangso me 아니 샘진 속 주미디 남의 섬에야 딸리기 뺀 몸배 네데베 잠블링나 미심 디게 개합도 미술을 샵도 몸배 슈디디 미야미 디소게 펜절롱치 작게다베 가동도 기동도 베디 미야미.
As a nation founded on the holistic and sane principles of gross national happiness, underlined by the truth of interdependence, let us examine the consequences of the mass proliferation of meat farms on the health and environment of our nation.
WHO has declared red processed meat as #1 carcinogen, equal to smoking a cigarette.
When we look at the statistics of especially the NCDs that you mentioned, like hypertension and diabetes especially, diabetes rises because of the overweight, and that's because we consume a lot of meat, a lot of rice, so that's why, and that's especially the pork that most of the people love. We have saw around 5,000 cases in 2018, but then we saw really more than double the percent of rise in the diabetic cases, like 12,000 of the population. That's just who reported. I think there are many who did not report.
The type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, obesity, all these are part of metabolic syndrome X, is also associated with the consumption of meat products.
The recent report of IPCC said if we keep on increasing the consumption of meat at the current rate, that factor alone will forbid us to stay under 2 degrees of warming before the end of the century, at the cost of immense suffering throughout the world.
Bhutan can also prevent environmental destruction from animal agriculture if you look at a country like UK. The number one cause for the river pollution in the UK is animal farming due to chicken and dairy farms. Some of their largest rivers are near to ecological collapse. These all are the serious problems Bhutan can avoid if they learn from the mistake in the countries like UK and others.
Caught in this critical crossroads in time, in the eternal battle between wants and need, we are guided by our far-sighted spiritual masters as we seek sane and beneficial directions for the road ahead.
Tenga chagi dilu nge maram sumchi, te dilu magau sumchi, dilu katangdo sumchi, te debe cha dilyong, te de zalera mens. Dilu nying jibge guli, dik doktor bi dönebe labamato.
Guru Rinpoche talks about the doctor. That is in Tejung Rinpoche Loju and even in Lama Gongdi. So it's explained exactly similar. And it says about, again, there is like 21 methods to avert, and in that it says number one is Rija. It means that we have to seal the mountains and not let people hunt. Lungja is seal the river and then not let people fish. And Soglu means the animals which are going to be slaughtered, we have to save them.
Ojase dade Rinpoche jonde hakwa sosang mepi 송상이 돈에 비한테 나처럼 다짜니 낀세 치면 남송상 비한테 어디에 숭 달래 담벼락기 걸레 비하세 달래 뿌르 번당 때문에 원부르나에.
People who are eating are also totally responsible, not only people who are slaughtering animal. So because of that, Kyabje Je Rinpoche says that if you become vegetarian, Rinpoche says you have accomplished 50% of the dharma just being vegetarian.
His Holiness Rinpoche is saying that the benefit of this freeing this lives of fishes is to bring peace in the sacred land of India and to all around the world.
A little bit of meat worth it? Certainly not. You could live happily ever after without disease, without a short life, by being true to your religion. And your religion is one of the most wonderful religions in the world, Buddhism.
So Bhutan can adopt to promote plant-based diets, benefiting health, environment and food security. Implementing these steps can position Bhutan as a leader in sustainable food practices.
다 샘진기 랑기 계획이 파다 마이메 아니소 솔로 투 먹어봐베 다 디기 탑람디 때다 치 제갑 가틀레야 때 말레이시아로 타이완로 자나로 텔레 싱가포르 레바 가라 레바 홍콩 레바 가라 때아니 샤즈유마 존이기 추강 마둡두베두 졸라야 심토도두 텔레테 쪼라 테베 아니지 슝기지 투삼지 시신날레 아니 좀기 차시지 땅 수바진 텔레란테 미스르기 야르제야 디기 투발루 샤자미 디수기 케야 디기 쳬발루 텔레테 란루테 아니 틱바야 티마고발루베
Plant-based diet is superior. The nutrients in it are bioavailable. Your body absorbs it very well and assimilates it very well in your body.
Touchwood, for the last 31 years, I have no major issues, even during my pregnancy, during my breastfeeding. And I feel even during my old age time, I will not have problem because you are not taking anything that is going to hamper your health.
Ngaji du jagab di duna go chosegi saime duna go longchebe de zademi gi saime inji minji shara go se o salemindu
mache zumjiga ani zumbeoti mache nonga garan buchi kusi shape dilute ten Kyabje Je Khenpo kusi shape teni jungdwe dila hakte misi shudi.
During the Sagadawas, the auspicious month, so towards the end of the Sagadawas, there are a group of people who are waiting to slaughter those animals, just to, it gives me pain to speak that also, but that's really what's happening. So, I don't know, I wish, people really understand, and, they can at least try and then limit, slowly. It's like quitting alcohol. Like we take time to quit alcohol, so why cannot people also do that? So that's my pledge, and I hope that I see many people turning vegetarian in the coming days. So that's what I hope so. Thank you. Sorry. Hello. Sorry. Hello. Sorry.
Just as we have done throughout our history, there is hope in the air as our spiritual leaders lead the way with timely reforms and precious prescriptions.
대 밤시미디 될 구통디게 될 남취미수세 다니소 남에서 면노와이
대로 잡지기 까진도 야라마 dumrachi 소명알에 미 계라기 미세 용나 발로 다다른 아버지 같이 촉부탄사 조서 사치로 잡지기 까다 티디기 베로 심치기 소초디 사다벌레 마베오디기 베디노.
Not just during Chokos, the annual rituals, but in all ceremonies, meat was not served as much as it used to be before.
There is renewed cause for optimism as Bhutanese from all walks of lives are now contributing to a growing vegetarian movement due to enhanced understanding of the negative consequences of eating meat, and especially in keeping to their spiritual integrity as citizens of a Dharma Kingdom.
This is a group are coming, sir. They are coming with their family in weekends. Usually in weekends our restaurant is packed.
So here, for instance, within these compounds, I have been rather stubbornly, obstinately begging people. I wouldn't say enforcing because not many people listen to me, but I have been imploring people to not have any meat within the compounds.
More youths are turning into vegetarians, so I see that Bhutan to being a green Bhutan in the future.
I feel like they shouldn't abuse them because I wouldn't want an animal to feel pain. They're also like us, they can feel pain, sadness, anger, happiness.
I'm not a vegetarian, but I have this guilt even to kill a small animal. So the day that I lose this guilt is the day I'll consider myself not a Buddhist anymore.
In Bhutan, something that is very, very interesting and admirable is 95% of them who started to venture into this pursuit of vegetarianism, the reason is compassion and empathy.
It started off from Dorjee Den. After the first 100,000 prostration, I took a vow to be vegetarian for life.
So I basically decided to become a vegetarian, not for health reasons. I wasn't sick. I understood that we shouldn't live our lives by harming someone.
Dorjee Den, so there I heard my parents, they said that we have to promise something. From there, then I said, okay, I'll not take any of the meat. So since then, I became vegetarian.
Zambulingi ke kap chanyamlu pembagi mate doa semjen tamche tana 조모 연철해야돼 같이 개합기 펜바 유세 슈니라.
Although I spent more than 7 years abroad at one point in my life, I feel blessed to be back in Bhutan. Such blessings of a Dharma land are worth more than all the money in this world. So I pray that Bhutan preserves the heart of a Dharma kingdom through all complexities and challenges throughout time for the benefit of all sentient beings.